Hello and welcome back to Voice of English Learners. I'm Alex speaking. Today we will talk about a very useful topic: English at a hotel. We will learn how to speak English when you check in, when you ask for help in your room, and when you check out. This is one of the most practical lessons for travelers and learners. When you go to a hotel in another country, you need to speak some English. You will need English to ask for your room, to talk about breakfast, to ask for a towel, or to pay when you leave. Don't worry. Today we will go very slowly. I will speak clearly and calmly. The words will be simple. The rhythm will be slow. You can listen and repeat after me. You can shadow me sentence by sentence. Shadowing means listening and repeating. When I say a sentence, you can say it after me or with me. It helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and real-life speaking. In this episode, we will have 5 parts. First, we will learn about checking in at the hotel. Second, we will practice asking for things in your room. Third, we will talk about room service and requests. Fourth, we will practice checking out. Finally, we will have a long story-based shadowing section where you can live the experience of staying in a hotel step by step. Remember, there is no pressure. You can pause anytime. You can repeat as many times as you like. Every repeat makes your English stronger. Small steps are big steps. Now relax your shoulders. Take a slow, calm breath. Feel ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let's begin. The core lesson and shadowing practice. 1. Checking in at the hotel. When you arrive at a hotel, the first thing you do is check in. That means you go to the reception and tell them your name, your booking, and how long you will stay. Let's start with some very simple sentences you can use when you arrive. You can say, "Hello, I have a reservation." Now you repeat. You can say, "Hi, I booked a room." Now you repeat. You can also say, "Good evening. I have a booking under my name." Now you repeat. If you don't have a booking and you just want to ask if rooms are available, you can say, "Do you have any rooms available?" Now you repeat. You can also say, "Can I get a room for tonight?" Now you repeat. The person at the reception is called the receptionist or front desk clerk. They will ask for your name. You can say, "My name is your name." Now you repeat. They might ask, "Can I see your passport or ID?" You can say, "Sure, here it is." Now you repeat. Or, "Of course, here you go." Now you repeat. Sometimes they ask, "How long will you stay?" You can say, "I will stay for 2 nights." Now you repeat. You can also say, "I'm staying for 1 week." Now you repeat. If you want to ask about breakfast, you can say, "Is breakfast included?" Now you repeat. You can also ask, "What time is breakfast?" Now you repeat. If you need Wi-Fi, you can ask, "What's the Wi-Fi password?" Now you repeat. Let's practice a small check-in dialogue together. Receptionist: "Good afternoon. How can I help you?" Guest: "Hello. I have a reservation." Now you repeat. Receptionist: "What's your name, please?" Guest: "My name is Anna Brown." Now you repeat. Receptionist: "Can I see your passport, please?" Guest: "Sure, here it is." Now you repeat. Receptionist: "Thank you. How long will you stay?" Guest 2 nights, please. Now you repeat. Receptionist. Great. Your room is 302. Here's your key. Guest. Thank you very much. Now you repeat. Excellent. That is a real hotel check-in conversation. You are doing great. Every repeat helps you feel more confident. Small steps are big steps. 2. Talking about your room. Now you have your key. You go to your room. Sometimes you need to ask questions or say something about your room. Here are some useful sentences. You can say, "Where is my room?" Now you repeat. You can ask, "Is there an elevator?" Now you repeat. You can say, "How do I get to my room?" Now you repeat. When you enter your room, maybe something is missing. You can call reception or go downstairs to ask. You can say, "Excuse me, the air conditioner is not working." Now you repeat. You can say, "Excuse me, there is no hot water." Now you repeat. You can say, "The TV doesn't work." Now you repeat. You can say, "Can you send someone to fix it, please?" Now you repeat. If you need something more, you can say, "Can I have an extra towel, please?" Now you repeat. "Can I have another pillow, please?" Now you repeat. "Can I have a blanket, please?" Now you repeat. If you are not sure who to call, you can ask, "How can I call the reception?" Now you repeat. You are doing wonderful. These small sentences are real-life English. Let's make a small example. Guest. Hello. Reception? Receptionist. Yes. How can I help you? Guest. The air conditioner is not working. Now you repeat. Receptionist. I'm sorry about that. I will send someone right now. Guest. Thank you very much. Now you repeat. So easy, right? Calm, polite, simple English. 3. Room service and hotel requests. Sometimes you want food or drinks in your room. That is called room service. You can call the room service number on the phone in your room. You can say, "Hello, can I order room service, please?" Now you repeat. You can also say, "I'd like to order some food." Now you repeat. They might ask, "What would you like to order?" You can say, "I'd like a sandwich and a cup of tea." Now you repeat. You can say, "I'd like some soup and a bottle of water." Now you repeat. You can say, "Can I have some fruit, please?" Now you repeat. If you want to ask about time, you can say, "How long will it take?" Now you repeat. Or, "When will my food arrive?" Now you repeat. Sometimes you want something simple like water or coffee. You can say, "Can I have some more water, please?" Now you repeat. Or, "Can I have some extra coffee, please?" Now you repeat. When the food arrives, you can say, "Thank you very much." Now you repeat. If you want to pay later, you can ask, "Can I add it to my room, please?" Now you repeat. That means you don't pay now, you pay when you check out. For checking out. Now your stay is finished. It is time to check out. You go to the reception again. You can say, "Good morning. I'd like to check out, please." Now you repeat. You can say, "I'm checking out." Now you repeat. They may ask, "How was your stay?" You can say, "It was very nice, thank you." Now you repeat. Or, everything was great, thank you. Now you repeat. You will need to return your key. You can say, here is my room key. Now you repeat. If you need to pay, you can ask, can I pay by card? Now you repeat. Or, can I pay in cash? Now you repeat. If you want a receipt, you can say, can I have a receipt, please? Now you repeat. If you need a taxi, you can say, can you call a taxi for me, please? Now you repeat. Let's practice a checkout dialogue. Receptionist. Good morning. Are you checking out? Guest. Yes, I'd like to check out, please. Now you repeat. Receptionist. How was your stay? Guest. It was very nice, thank you. Now you repeat. Receptionist. Will you pay by card or cash? Guest. By card, please. Now you repeat. Receptionist. Thank you. Here's your receipt. Guest. Thank you. Can you call a taxi for me, please? Now you repeat. Receptionist. Of course. Have a nice day. Guest. Thank you. You too. Now you repeat. You are doing great. You are building real-world English. 5. Story-based shadowing. Staying at the Sunrise Hotel. Now let's live inside a story. You are the guest. Listen first, then we will repeat sentence by sentence. Full story. It is a warm afternoon. You arrive at the Sunrise Hotel. You have one bag in your hand and a smile on your face. You walk to the reception desk. The receptionist says, "Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sunrise Hotel. How can I help you?" You say, "Hello. I have a reservation. My name is Maria Lopez." The receptionist smiles and says, "Of course, Ms. Lopez. May I see your passport, please?" You give your passport and say, "Sure. Here it is." The receptionist looks at the computer and says, "You are staying for 3 nights, correct?" You answer, "Yes, that's right." The receptionist says, "Great. Breakfast is included. It's from 7 to 10 in the morning." You say, "Thank you. What time is checkout?" The receptionist says, "Checkout is at 12 noon. You say, "Perfect." The receptionist gives you the key card and says, "Your room number is 204 on the 2nd floor. The elevator is on your left." You say, "Thank you very much." You go to your room. The room is clean and bright, but the air conditioner is not working. You call reception. You say, "Hello, this is room 204. The air conditioner is not working." The receptionist says, "I'm sorry about that. I will send someone right now." A few minutes later, a hotel worker comes and fixes it. You say, "Thank you very much." That evening you feel hungry. You call room service. You say, "Hello, can I order some food, please?" The person says, "Sure. What would you like?" You say, "I'd like a sandwich and a cup of tea, please." The person says, "Okay. It will take about 20 minutes. You say, "Thank you." The food comes. You eat and relax. You sleep well. After 3 days, it is time to check out. You go to the reception again. You say, "Good morning. I'd like to check out, please." The receptionist says, "How was your stay?" You say, It was wonderful, thank you. The receptionist says, did you use the mini bar? You say, no, I didn't. The receptionist smiles and says, all right, will you pay by card or cash? You say, by card, please. You pay and say, can I have a receipt, please? The receptionist gives you the receipt. You say, can you call a taxi for me, please? The receptionist says, of course. The taxi will be here in 5 minutes. You say, thank you for your help. The receptionist says, you're welcome. Have a nice day. You leave the hotel happy, confident, and proud. You think, I spoke English in a hotel. I did it. Sentence by sentence shadowing. It is a warm afternoon. Now you repeat. You arrive at the Sunrise Hotel. Now you repeat. You say, hello. I have a reservation. Now you repeat. The receptionist says, welcome to the Sunrise Hotel. Now you repeat. You give your passport and say, here it is. Now you repeat. The receptionist says, breakfast is included. Now you repeat. You ask, what time is checkout? Now you repeat. You go to your room. Now you repeat. You say, the air conditioner is not working. Now you repeat. They fix it. You say, thank you very much. Now you repeat. You call room service and say, can I order some food, please? Now you repeat. You say, I'd like a sandwich and a cup of tea. Now you repeat. You sleep well. Now you repeat. You check out and say, good morning. I'd like to check out, please. Now you repeat. You pay and ask, can I have a receipt, please? Now you repeat. You leave the hotel happy and proud. Now you repeat. You did it. You lived a full hotel experience in English. You are doing amazing. The motivational summary. Let's take a deep breath together. You have finished a long and powerful practice. Today we talked about English at a hotel from check-in to check-out. You learned to say, I have a reservation. You practiced asking, do you have any rooms available? You learned how to give your name, your passport, and how long you will stay. You practiced sentences for the room. The air conditioner is not working. Can I have an extra towel? Can I have a blanket, please? You learned how to call room service and order food. I'd like a sandwich and a cup of tea. You also practiced checking out. I'd like to check out, please. Can I pay by card? Can I have a receipt? And most importantly, you lived it all in a story. Step by step, word by word. Remember this, you are not just studying English. You are living in English. When you repeat these sentences, you are not just learning. You are practicing real life. You are practicing your future. You are not just learning to speak. You are learning to live and travel in English. Every repeat, every small shadow, every calm moment with these words builds your confidence. You are doing great. You are growing slowly, and slowly is beautiful. Small steps are big steps. Every time you practice, you move forward. Say it with me. You are not just studying English. You are living in English. You are not just saying words. You are building your English life. You are doing something kind for your future self. I am proud of you. the outro and sign off. Now we have reached the end of this gentle, long lesson from Voice of English Learners. You stayed patient. You stayed calm. You practiced hotel English from beginning to end. Next time you go to a hotel, you will know what to say. You will say, "Hello, I have a reservation." You will say, "Can I have the Wi-Fi password?" You will say, "I'd like to check out, please." And you will speak slowly, confidently, politely. You can listen to this episode many times. You can shadow it again and again. Each time, the sentences will feel easier. Each time, your English will grow stronger. Thank you for spending this quiet learning time with me. I'm happy to be your slow English friend, your practice partner, your guide. You are improving every time you listen. You are building your English world. Remember, you are not just studying English. You are living in English. This is Voice of English Learners. I'm Alex. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.